expect with this launch event, but welcome. We're going to get started. Thanks everyone for coming out. My name is Kevin Curry. I'm one of the organizers. I'm your MC for the day. We have a strong team of organizers who are all volunteers here in the city of Virginia Beach who've helped us put this together. You can see them up here. You'll see them around the room. You all are here because there is a surge of entrepreneurship in Hampton Roads, and we want Virginia Beach to be part of it. And a lot of us are entrepreneurs in this area, and we're part of a network of organizations around Hampton Roads that supports entrepreneurship and startups, and we want to do something right here in our home city. So thank you all very much for coming. This is an hour-long event. It's a formatted event, so two speakers will get 6 minutes each to present their companies, and then it'll follow by 20 minutes of Q&A by you guys. And we have two great companies out here today, Comparity and 757 Agents, which is itself a startup, and they're going to tell you all about themselves. We'd like to keep it from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, 1 hour. There's supposed to be coffee. And we'll get that. It's on its way. It's on its way, and we'll get that worked out. We'll beg your forgiveness a little bit if we mess up the timing today, but we're going to try to get it all right. But before we get started, I want to say a special thank you to all my organizers, all the people who volunteered their time to make this happen for weeks. Come on in, Alex, you're good. Definitely to the City of Virginia Beach and the Department of Economic Development. We have been meeting there in their offices every week, planning this for about, what, like 6 or 8 weeks now. There's my mom. Come on in, Mom.
There's no place to sit.
Here, you can stand right there.
But definitely thank you very much to Warren Harris, I think is here, who's been helping us and support us. Thank you very much for that. Come on in, we have some standing room only.
That's a good thing.
Hi, welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Senator Frank Wagner, taking great interest in the economic development of here at the City of Virginia Beach. Thank you very much for coming out.
Absolutely.
And supporting our event. And let's see here, we have we have a welcome. We have our organizers. Oh, thanks very much to our sponsors. This is sponsored by the Kaufman Foundation, you and Mary Kaufman Foundation in Kansas City, Missouri, and of course Stratford University, who's given us this great space and is going to provide us definitely delicious coffee every week. We're going to be here every Wednesday for the next 52 weeks. So that's a great thing that they offered up for us to have this turnkey space. And as I see all that coming together, wondering if you would care to share your thoughts on what brought you out here today. And
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Again, my name is Frank Wagner, and I happen to represent this area, but that's not why I'm here today. I'm here today because I was an entrepreneur. I still am an entrepreneur. And when I got out of the Navy, I started a business, built the business up, sold the business, had a non-compete. Didn't have anything to do. That's when I ran for office, but that's a different story. But I just want to share with you. I mean, once I went down that road, and believe me, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work. But I did something I love to do. And if you got something you love to do, you're not really going to work every day. You're doing something that you love to do, and you get paid for it. And that's always a great thing. And once I started down that road of working for myself, I will tell you, I could never work for anybody else other than my wife. Again, but then we all work for them. But I tell you, it's a special spirit, and I admire each one of you that are in here today, taking a look at it, because it's a lot of work. I don't want to kid you, but you know, the key that I walked away from, and I'll share with you, I didn't take any business classes. I took no MBA. I went to the Naval Academy, and got involved in ship repair. Learned a lot about ship repair, and then went out and started doing it myself. And not myself, but I managed to round up a group that knew what they were doing, and I got to ride it. But the key to every business that I've seen, the key to every business is getting the work in the door. You can always find people to get the work done, but the person that can go out and make the sale, the person that can bring the business in the door, is your most valuable person? And most oftentimes, that's going to be the entrepreneur themselves. You have a great idea, you have something you want to do, it's a passion, but it's not going to start a business unless you can get the business in the door. And a lot of times you'll hear companies where the salesmen make more than the owner of the business. And when you talk to the owner of business and say, how can your salesman make more money than you? And the owner will tell you the same thing, they're worth more than I am to the company because they can bring business in the door. So I would point out to you that you know, this is an exciting time. I was exciting when I went out on my own. I was probably a little bit out of my mind because I had a wife and a child that wasn't even a year old and a brand new mortgage. And I took the plunge, and it was work, but I never really thought about going to work every day. I thought about, you know, what are we going to do today? What new business can we get in? And when you're in ship repair, it's a treadmill, like most businesses. It's, I need work, I need work, I need work. And then a week later, you're going, how am I going to get all this work done? How am I going to get all this work done? And then about 2 weeks later, you're going, I need more work, I need more work, I need more work. And this treadmill never stops. It just keeps going on and on and on. And then you realize when you sit back after about 3 or 4 years, the treadmill goes faster because you got a bigger company. You have more people working for you. You have this, and then all of a sudden I need more work, and that work packages get larger, your equipment gets larger, your staff gets larger, your responsibilities get larger. But the underlying theme of this is fun and I look forward to doing it and watching something grow, that you planted the seed in the ground, that's probably the most rewarding experience you can get. And you might be surprised, or maybe not surprised, how many entrepreneurs are in politics. It's very, very interesting. Jeff McWater is a gentleman that just retired. He at his kitchen table came up with this idea of managing Medicaid on behalf of states and built it up to Amerigroup, which is a huge, huge corporation, a huge employer here in Virginia. My seatmate, there's a lot of independent insurance brokers. That's their business. They're an independent insurance agency. My seatmate, my previous seatmate owned a big nursery. He was in the nursery business, and it's not partisan. The Democrat leader in the Senate owns gas stations. You know, he's an entrepreneur. It goes across the board. It has nothing to do with partisan. I think it probably has more to do with personality, because, as I said when I started, the person that can get the business in the door is probably the most important person. And when you think about politics, it really is a sale. You know, unfortunately, the product you're trying to sell is yourself. Some products are harder to sell than others, but you're out there and you're doing those kind of things. And so, it's not surprising that there's a lot of entrepreneurs that ultimately get involved in politics. Trust me, back when I started this company, the furthest thing from my mind was getting involved in politics. It was all about the business. So, you know, I'm really astounded about how many folks are here today. It's amazing. It's good to see the entrepreneurial spirit. From a policy standpoint, from a government standpoint, the people in this room are the future. You know, every politician talks about, I want to improve jobs and the economy and those kinds of things. And it's standard political mantra that comes out of everybody's mouth, regardless of political party, regardless of whatever. You need to recognize you in this room are the future employers, the future people that are going to keep the economy on track. You know, a lot's said about big businesses, but as small businesses, it's the startups that actually employ people. Well over half of all job growth, when there is a job growth environment, comes from small businesses, comes from entrepreneurs, people like you right in this room. You're the key to the economy. A lot of the policy that I look at, and you, not surprisingly when I'm up there, is I look at the overhead column of the business. I'm a business guy. You look at the overhead column and you look at what the obstacles that you ran into when you were trying to start up a business, and say, how can we turn those obstacles into smooth patterns so that we want to encourage entrepreneurs to get their businesses started. We don't want to throw up bureaucratic obstacles to having those businesses start up. And so a lot of my policy thought for me personally, and I share it with legislators on both sides of the aisle, is what can we do to help you and encourage you to get your businesses going, because that's ultimately what we're going to need in the state. So I don't want to drone on. You know, we senators can drone on for hours if you let us, and we know how to filibuster and do all of those things. But again, I just want to encourage each and every one of you. It's amazing the crowd that's here this morning. I wasn't anticipating this kind of group, but I will tell you, keep the spirit. You know, there's going to be good days and bad days, and you have to be a personality that likes this in your life and not this. You know, if you want this, you got to work for somebody, and if you want this, you're on the right track right now. Go ahead.
Kevin, since this turned into kind of like a mini presentation,
Yeah?
could we allow at least just one question?
Absolutely.
One question concerning business. I don't want any question. You got your chance to ask the senator. Any questions? Any question? You got a question about anything going on about business or what he could do to help grow business in Virginia Beach?
I have a question. Could we do something about the State Corporation Commission's information technology infrastructure? Because I do think it's a barrier to business. There's a lot you can't do online at the State Corporation Commission and in the city of Virginia Beach when it comes to registering a business.
I would think that's an area we can improve in. Again, one of the keys to a legislator is waking up in the morning and knowing you don't have any good ideas or very few good ideas, but the people that you represent have a lot of good ideas, and it's the first I've heard of it. Okay. It's something we can absolutely do. I will say this, that all these agencies ought to go to DMV and look at what they've done in DMV in terms of the ability to work online, ability to do many things from your home. It used to be, you know, the torture of all tortures right up to going to the dentist. You have to go to DMV, and now most everything, transactions you can do online, and you can get a lot of other state business done at DMV. It's a very, very good point. We've talked about a single stop, but it's certainly an inquiry we have to make to we have 3 judges that are basically the executive directors of the State Corporation Commission, and certainly something we can do to facilitate online registration.
Thank you.
I'll try to get an answer. How often are you going to meet?
We're here every Wednesday. Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday.
Not sure I'm going to answer next Wednesday.
That's fine. Thank you very much.